Good day. Today, I will discuss to you the Pythagorean theorem and how to derive this formula. Just an information, guys, there are more than 300 plus proofs for this theorem, but the one I'm going to show you is more than enough to prove that indeed this theorem equals the true. So, to start with, given this figure, let's say we have a square having a side A plus B. A plus B. And inside this bigger square, we have a smaller square having a side C. Okay? Mula sa figure na yan, we can simply say that the area of this bigger square is just equal to the sum of the area of these four triangles plus the area of this smaller square. That is, the area of the four triangles plus the area of the smaller square. Now, what is the area of this bigger square? Of course, that is just A plus B squared. So A plus B squared equals, we all know that the area of a triangle is just 1/2 base times height. Now ngayon, sa triangle na yan, whether you take B as the base or A as the base, still it is considered. So, area of a triangle is 1/2 AB plus the area of the smaller square, that is just C squared. So simplifying, that is just A squared plus 2AB plus B squared equal to 4 times 1/2 is just 2 times AB plus C squared. Now, if you can notice, there is a presence of 2AB in both left and the right hand side of the equation. So they will just end up cancelling each other. And the equation will solve to A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared. And this gives us the famous Pythagorean theorem. Right? Now, question is, saan na ina-apply? Or ano application yan? Of course, it has a lot of application in trigonometry, in structural analysis. Going to trigonometry, guys, let's say we have a circle having a radius of 1 unit. Actually, this is called the unit circle. Okay? It's a unit circle, that is a circle having a radius of 1 unit. And let's say its radius is inclined at some angle theta. Okay. Now, if you would take its vertical and horizontal projection, okay, this side is opposite to this angle. So we call that opposite. And of course, this side is adjacent. Now guys, this hypotenuse is of course the radius of the circle, which is 1. Okay? Now, from trigonometry, guys, cosine theta is just adjacent over hypotenuse. But here in this case, hypotenuse is just equal to the radius, which is 1. So, cosine theta is just adjacent. Now, how about the sine theta? Sine theta is just opposite over hypotenuse. But here again, in this case, hypotenuse is just equal to 1, which is the radius. Opposite over 1. This is the opposite. So now, what if we will apply this Pythagorean formula? So what is that? Adjacent squared plus opposite squared is equal to hypotenuse squared. Okay, so what is that? Adjacent squared plus opposite squared is just equal to hypotenuse squared. Okay, now what is this adjacent? Again, adjacent is just equal to cosine theta. So that is just cosine theta squared plus sine theta squared is equal to r squared. If we'll substitute r, which is equal to 1, then cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is just equal to 1. Baka malito kayo sa cosine squared tsaka sa cos squared theta. Same lang yung value niyan. Okay? Wala yung pinagkaiba. This gives us the identity. We call that equation 1. Okay? Cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1. Okay? If we will divide this equation 1 into cosine squared theta, okay? Cosine squared theta divided by cosine squared theta, what will happen? Cosine squared theta over cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta over cosine squared theta is equal to what? 1 over cosine squared theta. So cosine squared plus cosine squared is 1 plus sine squared over cosine squared. What is that? That is tangent squared theta. How about this one? 1 over cosine squared is just equal to what? That is secant squared theta. This gives you another identities. We call that equation 2. Okay? Now, what if we divide it by sine squared theta? What will happen? Cosine squared theta plus sine squared theta is equal to 1. Divide it both sides by what? Let's say we will divide it by sine squared theta. Okay, so cos divided sine, what is that? That is cotangent squared theta. Sine squared over sine squared, that's what? That is 1. 1 over sine squared is what? That is cosine squared theta. So, rearranging terms, that is 1 plus cotangent squared theta is just equal to cosecant squared theta. So, in short, lahat ng mga identities na yan, galing na yan sa Pythagorean theorem. In-apply mo sa unit circle. Okay. So that equation 3. Now, another application for this formula, this Pythagorean formula is what? The distance formula. The distance formula. If we can recall, this topic is included in analytic geometry. Let's say we have a Cartesian plane, xy, and we have this point 1, have a coordinates of x1, y1, and this point 2, have a coordinates of x2, y2. Now, we are required to compute the distance from point 1 to point 2, that is d. How can we get the distance? Of course, we'll apply this formula because all of this just simply came from here. Now, this x1 is simply the distance of this point from the y-axis. Okay, this is x1. How about this x2? Of course, this is just the distance. This is just the distance of this point from the y-axis. So this is x2. How about this y1? Of course, y1 is just the distance of this point from the x-axis. So from here to here, that is y1. Same goes with y2. y2 is just the vertical distance from this point down to the x-axis. This is y sub 2. Now, can you see this right triangle? Yes. Okay. this leg or this horizontal leg is just simply the difference of this x2 minus x1. So we can simply say that this leg of the right triangle is just x2 minus x1. How about this vertical leg? Of course, this is the difference of y2 minus y sub 1. So what is that? y2 minus y sub 1. Okay, now, alam mo na, kita mo na, right triangle yan eh. So apply mo ito. So what is that? Supposedly, that is c squared. Supposedly, that is c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. But here in this case, the hypotenuse here is the distance that we're looking for. So that's what? B squared is just what? A is just x2 minus x1 squared plus b, that is y2 minus y1 squared. Now, tanong ka, sir, what if in-interchange ko? Still, walang problema. Okay? So, d, therefore, is just the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. This gives us the distance formula. Okay, now, okay na. Another application for this Phythagorean formula is what? The derivation of the cosine law. Okay? Cosine law. Paano yan? Again, from the Cartesian plane, okay, let's say we have a triangle. Let's say this is A, this is B, and this is C. Sir, paano yan? Hindi naman yan right. Gawin natin right. Just take the height of this triangle. Okay, now, let's say we have this angle theta subtended by this leg A. Okay? Of course, we can compute for the coordinates of this point. That is what? That's what? From here to here, that's just what? That is just A cosine theta. Okay? This is adjacent. So, cosine theta is just adjacent over hypotenuse. So, therefore, this side is just A cosine theta. How about this vertical distance or the height? The height of that is just opposite over hypotenuse. And so, therefore, that is just A sine theta. So, we can simply say that the coordinate of this point, that is x1, y1, is just equal to what? It's just A cosine theta and A sine theta. Okay, now, another point of interest is this point. Okay? We need to look for its coordinates. Okay, the distance B here is the distance from the y-axis up to this point. So this is B. So we all know that its y-coordinate is 0. So therefore, its coordinate is what? This is what? B, 0. Okay? Now, what if I'm gonna compute for the distance from this point up to this point, that is side C? What is that? Okay? Again, apply mo ito. Kung baga, ito related dito, saka ito related dito. Of course, all of this came from